Hello there, everybody. This is Devin here with the Rogue Deck Chronicle podcast, and this week we have a very interesting deck we want to profile, mostly because of how it is potentially positioned within the counter of the metagame, and that is going to be Yanmega EX with Vespiquen EX. So Yanmega EX is a Stage 1 Grass Pokemon with 280 HP, with the ability Buzzing Boost. So once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active, you may search your deck for up to 3 basic grass energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon and then shuffle your deck. So that will pair very well with the Jet Cyclone attack, which is for 3 grass energy and a colorless for 210. So Buzzing Boost gets you that 3 energy right away. And then you get to move 3 energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench. Now this is move 3, it's not up to 3, so you have to move 3 every single time you do it. So what are we going to be moving these energies to? Well, we could be moving it to another Yanmega if we want to, or we could be moving it to this Vespiquen EX. Now Vespiquen EX is a Psychic type Stage 1 Pokemon, 270 HP. It is a Terra type, so it does have Protection Wings on the bench, and it has 2 attacks. The first one is for a single grass energy, Healing Pheromone. Heals 60 to one of your Pokemon, so it could get it out of some ranges if you don't want to do the attack. Or the second attack for 3 grass energy, Phantom Queen. Phantom Queen does 200 damage, and then put 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damages on it. Well, how are we going to have more of a lightly spread to take advantage of this Phantom Queen's attack? And that is where this Uxie comes from. So Uxie is a basic Psychic Pokemon of 70 HP that has an attack for 1 Psychic Energy Painful Memories. Put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So we'll be able to ideally turn 1 use Uxie to kind of just spread a little bit, put some damage counters on the board, have a Yanmega EX to accelerate energy onto a Vespiquen, where Vespiquen can clean up and set up more damage. So that is going to be the little triangle they're going to set up with. Along with those Pokemon, we do have a Shaymin to protect our bench Pokemon that are non-rule box. So our Combees, our Yanmegas, our Uxies are all going to be protected with the Shaymin. And then we are also going to run 1 Lillie's Clefairy EX. And this is because we do run Psychic attackers. We do have the Uxie, we do have the Vespiquen. So Lillie's Clefairy EX will turn all those Dragon Pokemon. So we're talking about the Raging Bolts, we're talking about the Dragon Bolts. Their weakness will now be Psychic. So we'll be hitting into weakness, into the Raging Bolts, into those Dragon Bolts for 1-shots with Vespiquen. And then Full Moon Rando is still a good attack. We are going to have a fairly big board because of naturally how we want to play. And the last card that we need to talk about is the Fezandipiti. Fezandipiti with the Flip the Script ability is a fantastic ability, but do not forget about the Cruel Arrow attack. The triple colorless attack cost means that we could move 3 energies onto Yanmega if we absolutely need to do the 100 or wherever we want onto the board, because we are potentially going to be setting up numbers with the Uxie, with the Vespiquen, so Fezandipiti actually could be an attacker in a pinch. Now, in terms of the supporters and the items, item-wise, we are playing 3 Buddy-Buddy Poffin. The Combee and the Yanma are lower HP, so it'll be easy for us to grab. We are going to be running 1 bug catching set for us to look at 7 cards and grab basic energy and our grass Pokemon if we need to. We are going to be running 2 Earthen Vessel. We do run multiple energy types, so Earthen Vessel would be the way we can get a certain energy if we need it. And with that, with the way Yanmega moves energy, 1 energy switch just for us to move, because sometimes moving 3 to 1 Pokemon can over-energize, so we could use that to just move energy into the right ways. Now, we do expect to be behind for parts of the game, so we are going to run a Counter Catcher as one of our gusting cards. Our ace spec of choice for this is going to be Prime Catcher. Again, Prime Catcher allows us to promote and gust, so again, takes advantage of that Yanmega's ability, along with 2 switches. That way we, again, take advantage of that ability. Going to run 2 Super Rod just to recover energy and recover Pokemon throughout the match. We're going to run 2 Ultra Ball because we do need to find those Stage 1s every once in a while, so we just need another way to be able to do that. And then in terms of stadiums, We're going to run one Jamming Tower. This is mostly going to counteract the Garchomps to kind of get their HP a little lower. Yes, they are weak to grass, but we don't want to do 400 if we don't have to. And then we are going to run one Team Rocket's Watchtower. This is to counter all the colorless abilities for the setups of these Terra Box decks right now. So again, this is very much a counter deck in the right circumstances. Now, in terms of supporters, we're going to be a little thin across the board, but we're not going to be really missing anything. So we're running 2 Arven, 2 Iono, 2 Boss. So Boss is for the Gust, Arven is for the Search, Iono is for some disruption and some draw. And in terms of hard draw, we're going to run Carmine. This allows us, if we are going first, to use a supporter. It's discard your hand, draw 5, and then we run 2 Professor's Research, so that way we can dig deep into the deck. We run enough recovery cards, so those 2 discard your hand and draw cards are not going to be super detrimental to our strategy. Now, in terms of tool cards, we are running Arven, but we want to have Rescue Board. We have a lot of Pokemon with 1 or 2 retreat costs, so putting a Rescue Board on to do the retreat for free or for these costs will again make easier access to the Yanmega's ability. And because we do have a small spread strategy, a TM Devolution would be great in the mid to late game. So when we do maybe a Uxie and a Vespiquen attack, we can de-evolve some of those stage 2s to their stage 1s, or even stage 1 to their basic forms to get some KOs and disrupt our opponent. Now, in terms of energy, we have a very interesting energy balance here. In terms of the special energy, we are running 2 Jet Energy. Makes sense. Again, Jet allows us to promote from bench to active. We are running 2 Luminous Energy. We do have different energy costs in our attacks throughout all of our Pokemon, so Luminous Energy will give us the flexibility that we need. We are running 2 Psychic Energy for that same reason, and then 10 of Grass Energy for us to be able to use and search and accelerate those energies from the deck onto our Pokemon. As always, guys, this deck list will be in the description of the video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Let's jump on the ladder to see how we do. Alrighty, so we are going second, and we have a very good hand for going second here. We have the Psychic Energy for the Uxie. We have the Yanmega already in hand. We have the Arven for access to getting to a Switch card. So, let's see how we do. It looks like we are going to be playing against a Festival lead deck. The Bidoof next turn, preventing us from getting items will be a little annoying, but we can just Arven for a Rescue Board. But our opponent is pretty much just going to draw a pass, didn't really do anything. Rescue Board already in hand, perfect. So I'm going to take advantage of just a good hand here. I just want to get cards out of my hand. I want to thin cards from the deck. I only want to grab 1 energy. And we're just going to put damage around. Now, it doesn't KO the Bidoof, unfortunately, but we have the Combee in play. We have the Yanmega in hand. We just have to hope that we don't get Iono this turn. There's a Diplin going into hand, but there's no Applin for that Diplin. There's Festival Ground. It prevents no special conditions, but it really, for this deck, is more of a accelerator of attacks, for lack of better terms. So he definitely saw the fact that Yanma can, the promotion, knows what our card does. So we are going to retreat. I'm going to promote there. We're just getting a lot of grass energy in our hand, which is fine. But we got what we needed. We had what was in our hand. We kind of saw the Bidoof play just like a turn early, so we got rid of some of the item cards that could have clogged up our hand. The bug catching set would have just sat there for a turn. So we got the Fezandipiti off the prizes. We have everything we need for this turn. Now we just have to hope that our opponent doesn't pop off. So opponent concedes, but we saw the pressure that we could put in early game. So let's jump into another match to see how we do. Alrighty, so we are going second. So let's put some Pokemon to play just in case we get disrupted. We have the Earthen Vessel with the bug catching set, so we could set up for a very nice turn 2. And this is Gholdengo, so we're going to see if we can get ahead of the Make It Rain. Now they do resist. Gholdengo does resist grass. But Uxie does put pressure on all these evolutions. And we can always de-evolve as well. So let's see what we can do next turn. This is definitely a let's set it up turn. So let's grab some items here. Let's thin out the deck. Got the evolution for next turn. We got the jet energy for next turn. I hate to do this, but I really needed both of those. So let's painful memories. We're going to put damage across the board here. This definitely sets up a Vespiquen potential as well, because we're forcing our opponent now to try to evolve a whole bunch of Gholdengo in a couple turns. So I guess my question is going to be, will he put pressure on us this turn? With the jet energy, I'm not worried about what I promote. So yeah, Make It Rain. So he doesn't have to do a lot with Make It Rain, because we only have 70 HP, he only has to discard 2 energy. But what I would like to do is set up a Vespiquen and a Yanmega combination, so we can start really putting a lot of pressure across his entire board. Because we're going to have to force evolutions, and then we still have to de-evolve in the deck. So that would be the ideal strategy. Kind of have to see what happens, though. Waiting for our opponent with the Cypher. There's the draw. There's the energy. There's the vessel. Okay, so Uxie's gone. We lose a rescue board. I kind of got a little, maybe ahead of myself. I don't know. I just definitely wanted to prepare the fact that there is a chance that I wanted to keep this Uxie into playing potential. Yeah, I knew he was the only one to do 2. So. But we have the jet energy evolution combination, so we can definitely just get things set up, but we definitely need this Vespiquen. Okay. So let's evolve. Let's jet energy. Let's buzzing boost. And then, unfortunately, we're just going to attack. We were going to 2-shot the Gholdengo anyway. So we're just going to go for this play that the Combee. Because we can do the retreat cost. If we get another Yanmega in hand, we could get promote and kind of move stuff around. The ideal play is getting this Vespiquen off the top of the deck, getting an Ultra Ball off the top of the deck, getting something off the top of this deck to search for this Vespiquen. And kind of seeing what we do. I'm clearly making this the threat, but I don't know if our opponent knows what Vespiquen potentially could do. That's wonderful part of this deck, is that not a lot of people have seen Vespiquen. Because at this point, if he doesn't do anything else with his other gimme ghouls, we're gonna take 1, 2, 3, 5 prizes off the attack if he does nothing else to his board state. But we would need to have the Vespiquen. We're talking big hypotheticals right now, which is a little concerning. But our opponent also needs to discard 6 energy to do the 280 to us. So let's just see. I really don't know what our opponent's going to be doing. There's Lavencia. So there's 2 of the 6 energy coming back. There's a Gholdengo. Okay. Or yeah, Gholdengo. So we are going to see a lot of coin bonusing. We're going to see a lot of draw. He is definitely going to try to get this one shot on us. Okay. I don't think he can get the one shot, which I think is why he's retreating. He's going to have to do an attachment and then discard 6 energy, which would be his entire hand. Oh, he conceded. So he saw the pressure that we set up. So, not the worst thing in the world for us. We definitely was putting a lot of pressure up front on this matchup. So let's jump into another match, see how we do. Alrighty, so we are going second. So we're going to lead with the Uxie. We're going to put the Clefairy on as a protector. I always believe in just having at least one thing on the bench just in case. And we are seeing another beautiful Lillie's Clefairy across from us. So let's see what our opponent is playing. God, he's a blinged out deck though. Our opponent has a very much blinged out deck. So this Ultra Ball will let us know what we're potentially running into. We saw a Crispin, so definitely at least one other energy that's not grass in this deck. Probably the Psychic. Ogrepon. So Teal Dance, Ogrepon. So the Uxie putting damage on the both of these early. Nice pressure. We're not too worried about it. We have the Earthen Vessel. Okay, so we're going to Earthen Vessel away one of the grass energy. We want to grab both of those. That's fantastic. We are going to, again, this puts the Teal Mask into range for Vespiquen later. This is gonna feel really bad, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I just have a feeling that our opponent could pop off next turn. So I'm just gonna put the Fezandipiti down as a kind of a prep for everything. The Clefairy could definitely KO us right now. It's doing enough to KO because of how full Moon Rando is calculated, but he is getting that Teal Mask up and running. We're definitely at 2 turns behind. We didn't get the supporter that we needed last turn. We didn't get a Yanma or a Fighting Energy. I'm curious of what else this deck is potentially doing. So we're definitely going to be a little behind on this, but I'm okay with giving up a couple early prizes here for us to set up a board. The Uxie definitely did what it needed to do. It put the Teal Mask into Vespiquen range. If they're relying on the Clefairy for attacking right now, I'm okay with that. Hoot Hoot, which means there's probably the Jamming Tower out of our two, but I'd rather have the Jamming Tower there just in case. But we're gonna promote our Clefairy. They would have to work right now to knock out our Clefairy, so I'm okay with that. So it's bug catching set. Let's try to get some recovery in here. Let's try to get restabilized. Let's flip the script. Okay. So unfortunately, I do not want to research away this Yanmega this turn. So I want to just sit still. We have a decent hand. Free retreat, that Latias, the Jewel Seeker. Such a beautiful deck. Our opponent definitely has a really nice blinged out deck. So really, if looking at our opponent's board state as of this moment before the Jewel Seeker, the Teal Mask is one attachment away from doing damage. The Clefairy is already powered up. I don't see a reason why our opponent would ever try to power up the Latias. So I'm curious on what else our opponent could be grabbing to stabilize or even try to expand their board state. I'm curious on this fighting energy. What could be using this fighting energy? Research Nest Ball, so we're going to be seeing some stuff in a second. So, my fear, my worry, is I'm going to assume Clefairy EX is done this turn. Okay. Wellspring, we're going to be, that is the spread, which is exactly why we run the Shaymin, so we'll have to get the Shaymin out soon. But the random energy attachments throughout everything is so weird. The Jamming Tower makes that Sparkling Crystal useless, but I think it's just dumping the hand to use the research without losing the A-spec for the game. So I can see that. So they probably want to lose this Jamming Tower potentially. But the energy all over the place is definitely confusing me. This feels like, energy-wise, almost like a Gholdengo with the amount of different energy types they're playing. But we have a path. We have a clear path for victory. We just need to set up. And with what we have in hand right now, I think we very much can. And stabilize and kind of just do a little bit of a comeback here. So, let's see what our opponent does. How we can handle the next turn. Clefairy survives, which is even better. Because I was just calculating that Clefairy being donezo. Okay, so, let's evolve. Let's attach. Let's Prime Catcher. I want that Teal Mask. I'm going to trigger our Yanmega. Alright, we have no energy in the deck. How many energy do we have in this discard pile? We have a lot of energy in the discard pile. That's not necessarily a horrible thing. We have cards to recover that. Okay, so we have cards we need for next turn as well. So we are going to put the pressure on the Jet Cyclone now. We got rid of arguably the biggest threat on his board with the Teal Mask. We did not grab we did not get the Shaymin this turn. Vespiquen off the prizes, even better. The Shaymin from the Ultra Ball I'm just very curious on if we see a Crispin water attachment for Torrential Pump to get rid of the Combee and the Clefairy for him to take 3 prizes. There's his Fezandipiti. Area 0 under depth, so we would be able to take advantage of that with our Vespiquen as well. But let's see, because really what my concern is, are we going to see, unless there's a switch, we are not going to see that pump, which is fine with me. I think our opponent's going to try to go super wide to try to knock out the Yanmega here. Which is fine, because we'll knock out the Clefairy in return. The Yanmega is still alive. That's awesome. With our hand intact, that's even better. So, let's put the Vespiquen in play. Let's get that done. Let's Buddy-Buddy, which allows us to grab each of those guys. I want to Ultra Ball away the Iono and the Rescue Board. I want to grab the Shaymin. I want to protect from that Torrential Pump. The Vespiquen can't knock out anything. Oh, there it is. The pressure made our opponent concede. They saw what we were setting up. They saw that the Vespiquen was going to come out. They saw that we were protecting from the Torrential Pump, and that we are getting other pieces ready to go. So another really good match for Yanmega, just kind of showing what pressure it can cause our opponents. Alrighty, so we are going second with a lead of Yanma. So not the best lead. Not the biggest fan of our hand right now. The research, all these research sources going away. This looks like it's going to be a Charizard deck, which is going to be amazing because we one-shot Charizard. We just need to get set up. And if we get a basic Pokemon from the top deck, I think I'll research away these resources, and then the Super Rod is just going to have to not be used for the game, which is fine. We can live on what we have for the rest of the deck. Okay. See? Ultra Ball. Well, if we're going to just get rid of cards, we might as well just get a Pokemon out of it for sure. Not my favorite combination of plays, to be 100% honest with you. We'll end turn right here. See what our opponent can set up the next turn. We do have the Prime Catcher in hand, so if he does do an early rare candy, we have the other cards in hand here to really punish for that Charizard play, because the Charizard is going to be weak to us. We also have the Combee and all those pieces. Like, we can just double evolve, promote, do all this fun stuff. So 330, weak to grass. We're gonna one shot. We have 2 Yanma in the play. We have pieces where we can definitely withstand this. So let's see what our opponent does. I don't know if he's going to like what we're about to do. This is not going to be fun for him. So let's get pieces into play. Alright, I'm going to bug catching set to see if we get an energy from this. We do. I'm just going to grab the energy. And because he did all the hard work for us, I don't even have to use the prime catcher. And we're just going to knock out this Charizard for 420. And we're going to set up a Vespiquen on the bench. We're going to take our 2 prizes and let's see what our opponent does. Because what we can do for the rest of this match is really just put very strong pressure on our opponent. Yes, he does have a Fezandipiti in play. But what we can do is, because we have the prime catcher, we did lose one of our 2 bosses, which that's unfortunate. But with the prime catcher, we can take that Fezandipiti out, go down the 2 prizes. That is a very risky game. But Typhlosion. Okay, so we're going to have to go through a lot of different Pokemon here. So Earthen Vessel for Uxie actually is not a bad play to try to put a lot of damage counters onto our opponent's board before we bring in Vespiquen for a cleanup kill. Because if he's going to be doing Ethan, I haven't seen any Ethan's Adventure, so he's doing Typhlosion. This is going to be an interesting combination here. We have Arven, we have switching cards, we have what we need in hand, and we're not getting Iono'd, which is great to see. So Team Evolution. Okay, so we're probably seeing an evolution this turn for sure. What do they get from this Ultra Ball? Probably a Typhlosion. They're setting up everything. Guava, okay. I'm intrigued because I haven't seen any Ethan's Adventure. So I'm very intrigued on what they're trying to accomplish here. So but I do want to slow them down fairly significantly with their draw. All because I'm intrigued does not mean I'm not scared. I'm just going to make my board a little wide, and if I can get the Clefairy, I'll grab the Clefairy that way. I want to take out this Fezandipiti. I know now we have to do a whole bunch of single prizes. Like, they're going to make us go through single prizers now. But we're not weak to fire. We have full HP, we have high HP counts. I haven't really seen much of a threat from the Typhlosion because I haven't seen Ethan's Adventure. Now this would be the first one, but with what there's one in Ethan's Adventure. So I feel like with the position we're sitting in, they got the, yeah, they're getting the pieces for us to have. So we have to get 2 prizes before they get 5, which means we have to get 2 KOs before they get 3. I think we can hit the numbers because we already have the setup for it. We don't have any fire weakness. They're going to have to go full gas. Okay. Another Vespiquen, so we're just going to evolve this Combee to be what it can be. You know, like, we don't want to... And I think with Vespiquen here, we can just do the 200. We can... There it is. So we had the pressure there, so we were ahead. That was a very good, very fun match. Shows the power of just being grass type with this Charizard. Yes, they had some Charizard really set up, but they did not know that Yanmega was in the back. So that was a really fun match. Kind of showed off the strength of kind of picking a deck that is countering the meta and being able to take advantage of the weakness mechanic in gameplay. Alrighty, so there's the power of Yanmega and Vespiquen onto the ladder. We kind of had a really big handful of games, a little mixed bag. We had a couple times where we set up really well, and we were able to use the mechanics of the deck, mechanics of the weakness to our advantage. We had some really quick concessions, unfortunately. That's just the nature of the ladder this day and age. But I had fun. This is a really fun deck. It's one of those situations where it does feast or famine a lot. I will kind of put it out there. It is built very much as a high roll kind of deck type. It's one of those where I would not fault you if you wanted to add some more draw support for some early game consistency. I can definitely see that room for improvement. The Shaymin is one of those situations where I'm still figuring out if this is as good as a card as people think it is. It definitely is powerful, especially when we were playing against that deck that had the Wellspring Ogrepon, but not as strong against Dragon Pulse. But as always, guys, this deck list will be in the description of the video, and you guys can always make the adjustments. If you make an adjustment that you like to this deck, definitely make it a comment. I would love to see what adjustments that people are making to our 60s to see how they can make it even more optimized or something that fits their playstyle just a little bit better. Another suggestion I would make is probably the Luminous Energy can probably get turned into either an 11th and 3rd Psychic Energy. We really weren't able to utilize the Luminous Energy as much as I thought. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying our content. If you like the video and you like the channel, please subscribe. We're in a quest for 100 subs. We are a newer channel. We definitely want to see some more love. We love Pokemon. We love trading card games. Well, see what you guys like as well. And with that being said, guys, as always, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the trading card game, and have fun playing those sneaky decks.